Hello, it's Kerry. Welcome to Piece of Paper. Today I'm going to do a scrapbook layout about the return home journey from Japan. I'm just looking at the travel to Japan journey that we did, just to see a little bit of what I did versus what I might want to do. Just thought I'd have a quick look at what I had here. I've got fewer photos for the return journey, so we've got more room to fill, which may or may not be a good thing, I suppose. These are the pictures that I have for the return journey, and I'm thinking that I will probably make this a grid here. We were on our way back from holiday in Japan. This was our last night in the hotel. In Japan, they give you matching pajamas that you can wear in the hotel. So that's where me and my girls there are wearing the matching pajamas. This is us on the plane. Don't have any pictures of Dad on this one. Sky was doing her homework because she had some tests to do when she got back, so she had a lot of homework to do. This was us when we had a long layover in London. We were all very, very tired by that point. And we actually ended up going the whole way around the world. So when we went to Japan from England, we went across Europe and Asia, and then coming back, we went over the top of the Americas and then came into London. You can see there the little red dot was our destination. I am going to have a play with a sketch from Erin Jacobson. You can see here my photos are not quite the same. Maybe we'd do it something maybe more like that. And then here, as I said, I'm going to make that into a grid. You might have noticed that I don't work in 12 by 12 format, partly because my desk is very small, and partly because in England all our paper is as standard, something called A4. So that means it's very similar to a US letter size, but it's not quite the same. So I'm never using measurements. I'm always doing things by eye to roughly approximate it. And often what I find happens is my layouts are more tall and thin, so I need to stretch things in the vertical line. The paper that I am going to be using is the On the Go collection, and I haven't used very much of it. I did find it slightly frustrating that so many of the B-sides were all just the green and the pink, neither of which are particularly favourite colours of mine. I mean, I like the green, but it's not a very earthy green, so I think it works for this kind of picture, but not for things where you're outside. I mean, I do like that map paper. I did also notice that kind of the most striking colours that you see in the pictures are actually blue. So Sky's wearing this blue sweatshirt. Oh, and she's got her green bunny there, which I guess matches there, and that's not the right green for this. So we might just have to ignore that. And then obviously the blue here on this paper is really strong. Oh, that picture, sorry, is really strong. So I have got the, what is it? The Azure Afternoon, which is the matching blue for this paper set. So I'm definitely going to plan to use some of that blue. This is the one that I don't want to use because that was the predominant one on the travelling outwards paper layout. These are all really busy, so we're going to need to think about how best to use them without them being too in your face. So probably because we've got this dark border here, maybe we use one of the busy papers as the border, because that quite often looks good. If I'm going to do B as white, which is what I think probably is going to happen, then I don't really want A to be a white background one. So maybe that is where we'll use the keys. I can see it's quite a narrow border there, but I can probably make it a bit wider because I haven't got loads of photos. So yeah, I think we'll be able to do that, so we can make borders with that. maybe we could use that for D, because it's probably going to be enough to fit there. And then we only need thin strips for here and here. So maybe that one's going to be D. So we've got A, B, and D. So we need to think about what's going to go nicely with D, which is this one. And I feel like that probably needs to be something less busy. So maybe we use the map paper for C. So we have a look at what that looks like behind the photos. Excuse me while I'm shuffling in my small space. So I think they're all standing out quite nicely against the map paper. These two photos, the whiteboard is a bit narrow, so I'm probably going to have to remap those onto a white as well. Maybe we can use as a mat that bright blue, the Azure Afternoon blue, which I have some of over here. So how do they look? Yeah, that's pulling out Sky's shirt quite nicely, isn't it? And although it's not the exact match of a blue, it's not doing anything that's offending my eyes. And we're back, and now I've got the white paper surrounded by the key paper as the border. I did gut the key paper out to save that central section for another project. I'm sticking in the luggage pieces that are the ones that are going to give the appearance of going the whole way across on both aspects of the layout. I'm using my ruler to make sure things are nice and straight. And then I'll be bringing in the map paper, which we decided on as being less busy, and I'll just be trying to line that up, make sure that it's even distance from top and bottom, and the same on this side, although here it didn't go entirely straight the first time, so you'll see me lift it up and give it a little wiggle ever so slightly to get it to where we want it to be. Here's the photo, and you see I had to map those onto some card. Got inky fingers from doing the edges. And this is the two-tone cardstock, so you can see it's lighter on the back, but we want that stronger blue. So here, I think I want this one to be quite central across the two, maybe a smidge to the right, I mean the left. And I need to make sure I've got space underneath for the square picture. I'm not going to tap that down, just want to make sure this fits. I think maybe go slightly higher. Maybe more like there. And then I'm going to do this one on a wonk like it shows there. Don't normally do that, but being that everything else on these papers is all a bit lopsided, it seems like it sort of seems a bit in keeping. It's even almost in line with some of these streets down here. Look at that. A bit too close. We'll go a bit lower. Yeah, look, we can perfectly line it up. See, architect's daughter. Got to stick with the straight lines even when they're wonky. Right, so that's that side done. And then over here, I've left this long because I was going to put this tag that I looked at earlier on here. But then I'm thinking it's getting to be a bit too much of the blue and green. I could maybe turn them this way and have two overlapping each other. And then that would kind of not, yeah, we could lose the pink, but we could still have some of that. Oh, we've got this yellow one here. So I'm going to cut a few of these out and have a play. Right, so I want to put the yellow one at the back because it is quite bright and I'm trying to highlight that orange across from here, that backpack. So I'm going to cut some off the bottom here. Might not need to take the whole piece off because I do them, again, slightly jaunty. I want that one to be taller. but not taller than the photos. And then this one, I need to trim it down a bit. And I might need to just get my tool to lift that one up. Seems to be okay. Now we're going to ink up around the edges of these two tags. Let's put a bit of tape on these and stick them in, and then we can decide how big trimming off that top. I think I'm kind of thinking sort of like that. I haven't really decided what I'm going to call this page, because I was thinking kind of like Homeward Bound, or something about the fact we went the whole way around the globe. But all of those are really long words. Homeward Bound, circumnavigating the globe, or even just all around the world, is still quite a lot of letters. So I thought I'm not going to make any drastic decisions until I have got my paper down and I can have a look at what space I've got for titles, or at least a title, because this can be a subtitle. Right, now we just need to decide what height we're going to put this, because we want it to kind of balance. Oh, the right way up, Kerry. Want it to kind of balance. So don't want to go that high. Maybe we go more to the bottom, and then we could look at putting the title here, because kind of aligned with that. Yeah, right. That's maybe really narrow. So maybe kind of here. I think that looks. Yeah. I think that will do. Okay, I'm back. It's a different day. Work got in the way, and it's also coming up to bonfire night here in the UK, so apologies if you can hear lots of fireworks cracking off. While we've been away, the main thing that I've done is I've added in 20 hours later, per the meme, 20 hours later. And I've got some bits and pieces here that I've planned out for my embellishment clusters. I did ask Copilot for some support on the title. Didn't exactly give me a title that I liked, but did give me some ideas that led me to the title that I've ended up going with, which is Sunrise Sayonara. So I've cut these out from the mini alphabet dies, and they're just on low tack tape to keep them straight, so I need to put some glue on them. So now I'm getting my glue out, and I'm going to put the glue across all the letters in the title, and then stick them down. As you'll see, I'm starting at the bottom because I wanted to make sure that that was not too close to the pictures. And now the glue across the second one, and we'll be sticking that on top using my ruler to get them straight. Right, and then this is where me working a different format from the sketch comes in, because I'm not going to end up putting things in the same locations. I've got my title here. I'm going to have cluster one here, and the other one's kind of here where that photo would be. That was a firework going off. I don't know if you can hear them. So I think first thing I'm going to add in is this little tag here, which I cut from the paper, and I've been trying to balance out the colours so that we've got all the colours in each cluster, and there's quite a lot of colours, so see if I can remember where I'm going to put everything. Got this little heart that I wanted to put in that hole of that geotag because it's quite large, and I've got this crumb cake colour, which obviously isn't in the paper pack, but I thought it went quite well with our pyjamas, and also a little bit reminiscent of Sky's earphones there. And I actually took, this is the handle from, I can't remember what it's called, but you know, the set with the bag where you can make a bag and all the things that go in it. I thought they looked a bit like Sky's earphones, so they're going to go in down here. So I'm going to put a little passport on the top of there, so that will be fine. Wow, that's the fireworks. Put that there. So that's those. Yeah, I think that's going to go there. I'll just leave it for the moment. So then over on this side, I'm planning to bring this suitcase over for the, bring that red across. Just tuck that in slightly. And then for the crumb cake colour, I got this aeroplane that's just a little travel die that I have in my stash. It has different means of transport, which is quite useful for a travel layout. Right, where are my tweezers, the ones that I want? Ah, there they are, behind my glue. As always, everything goes disappearing, doesn't it? So I think sort of planning to put that kind of there-ish. And the reason I have the 20 hours later here is that this is when we're about 20 hours into our journey and we're at Heathrow. We had quite a long wait at Heathrow because they cancelled the flight we were supposed to take and we had to take our later one. So Layla looks like a bit of a zombie and Sky's not even conscious anymore at this point. Right, and then also from the same place as I have the airplane, I have this little globe which I love, and it comes in two parts, and I've cut all the map pieces out using a glimmer paper that I have of Shy Shamrock, so that's good fun. And I might want to move it about a bit, so I'm going to put the liquid glue on here rather than tape run it. To get the wheel the right way up. I think we're sort of thinking kind of here-ish, but we might have to see where we end up. And then the water bottle, that's also from that bag set, but I am going to pop this one up, I think, because if it's going to sort of overlay here, probably just going to need, where are my scissors? One of my daughters had disappeared off with my tape runner, and now my scissors for cutting sticky things are also missing, so there may be a correlation there. Sky, where are my special scissors? Can't complain if she's doing crafty things though, eh? Right, then we'll just put a little bit of tape runner in the middle there. Yeah, I had to call her and go, do you have my tape runner? She brought it back. I didn't at that point notice that my scissors that cut sticky things were also missing. Right, so I think that's going to work okay there. And then this water bottle has this very skinny little thing that goes on the top. I'm not entirely convinced it's going to work because it's so skinny that I might well end up just leaving this off. Let's have a little look. So I believe it's sort of supposed to go like that. Oh, maybe it's alright. Let's leave it there, see what we think. Then I was going to put the headphones in behind. Just hope that I can remember how to put this cluster together, sort of how I have it before. I think that needs to come down a little bit more like there-ish. Try and hold it down, get it to stick. Okay, and then I'm going to pop the backpack up again. Where am I sticking down? So you might remember that I was originally inspired with the orange backpack that's on the paper here, but then when I realised I needed to build my cluster there, I thought, well, let's just put the cut a backpack out and pop it up over the same spot, so it looks like it's meant to be there, like that. That's cute, I like it. And then because I've got yellow here and here, I felt like I needed to bring some yellow down to this side, which I made these groovy sunglasses that came from the same set with the bag and the bottle. I think we'll just, maybe we'll put one little bit of a dimensional there, put them away, and then I need them. Story of my life. Imagine if I had my scissors designed for cutting sticky things. Right, so just pop this right on the edge here. And then I think it's going to be glue. You guys do not need to be watching me constantly trying to put my glue pin back in the glue. That's cute. And then we also have this little thing that I was wondering about tucking in here, but then there's another one. That one's already there. I'm not sure if I want to include that or not. Oh yeah, maybe the bottle's a bit boring. Maybe we just pop it over the bottle to fill up that plain red strawberry slush cardstock. To tuck it like it's coming out from the side of the backpack. That will do, I think. Right, so yes, I think we just need to, I think this needs to come down in that space there, really. Just get a bit of orange into that cluster at the top. There-ish. Right, getting close to being done here. Right, let's try and peel back this, find out how low tack this low tack tape is. Actually, we should do the other one first because we put that one on first, didn't we? Try and save the low tack tape, but it generally falls off wherever I try and stick it because it is low tack. Right, I'm pleased with that. I think the only thing that we need to still do is bring in some gems or something, especially because I've got this glimmer paper here and nowhere else. So I'm going to go and pull out my various dots and sequins and see what we can find. I'll lift them up so you can have a closer look. See the glitter really nicely. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Going to get the Wink of Stella and colour in those sunglasses. There's my Sunrise Sayonara. There, little cluster there. The journaling. And give the Wink of Stella a little shake. Just wanted to make these, you know, look a little bit more, well, not like plain black paper, because sunglasses don't look like plain black paper, do they? Right, well, thank you for watching my first ever video at Piece of Paper. If you liked it, give it a like. Come back and see me again. Thank you. Bye bye.